Hello and welcome to The Bradley Show. I'm Bradley and today we're going to be talking about the later films of Charlie Chaplin. Hello and welcome to The Bradley Show. I'm Bradley and today we're going to be talking about Lars von Trier's 2003 film Dogville. Hello and welcome to The Bradley Show. I'm Bradley and today we're going to be talking about Christmas. Hello and welcome to The Bradley Show. In a minute I'm going to be meeting Nick Hudson and we're going to be talking about his new album. This is one of the major challenging elements of the film. The film explores the uses and misuses of morality and the role of judgment in relation to this. This is often reflected in John Hurt's narration. His narration accepts the moral standards of Dogville itself, but expresses them with a wry irony, suggesting the failures of these very standards. The film explores how morality can be used as a way of masking our faults and aggrandizing those speaking. Morality can be used as a way to look down on people and feel good about ourselves. This is exemplified in the figure of Thomas Edison Jr. Although the other members of the townfolk are guilty of it, none as consistently as Tom. Tom, the young writer and close ally of Grace, likes to think of himself as the townfolk's moral guide. This is because he likes to think of himself as superior to the rest of the town. He seeks to teach them lessons, yet these lessons always seem to presuppose their moral inferiority and his superiority. There is something very arrogant about Thomas Edison Jr. He thinks that Grace's presence simply serves as a moral challenge to the other townfolk. Yet unbeknownst to him, Grace is a fundamental challenge to him and his facade of moral supremacy. Yet this tendency towards the overwork of the proletariat becomes increasingly unstable and unsustainable. Unchecked, capital tends to endanger the whole enterprise. According to Marx, in its blind, unrestrainable passion, its werewolf hunger for surplus labour, capital oversteps not only the moral, but even the merely physical maximum bounds of the working day. It usurps the time for growth, development, and healthy maintenance of the body. It steals the time required for the consumption of fresh air and sunlight. It higgles over a mealtime, incorporating it where possible with the process of production itself, so that food is given to the labourer as a mere means of production, as coal is supplied to the boiler, grease and oil to the machinery. This overwork depletes the worker's body. His body convulses and spasms as it reinvokes the repetitive drudgery that characterises its daily routine. In Chaplin's case, the worker becomes a kind of accidental Luddite, attacking the machinery not out of a pre-planned act of sabotage, but as work itself, carried to its absurd and self-undermining conclusions. The tramp comes to violate the law by following the law all too completely. The compulsion that capital installs in the workers themselves becomes transgressive. That's why I can't really get behind the later Scrooge. Of course, his shift to charitable generosity is an obvious improvement on his old incarnation, but there is something that reeks of dishonesty. Christmas in actual practice is not about that kind of generosity. It is a festival of indulgence founded upon labour exploitation and to embrace it in the name of offering a little back to those less fortunate seems fundamentally blind to context. Isn't this the problematic tendency within charitable acts and humanitarian goodwill generally? Charity and humanitarianism alone do little to illuminate the social structure that gives birth to the problems they try to alleviate. This is what is so nauseating about crude and sentimental do-gooders. In their desire to defend the most vulnerable, they often overlook the very causes of inequality. They ignore complex socio-dynamics that give birth to particular problems and go for easy, feel-good answers. The irony is that easy, feel-good answers are the easiest to corrupt. That is why it is often hard to trust a do-gooder. From Mother Teresa to Jimmy Savile, do-gooders are often a dubious bunch. Do-gooders offer a way to quell our guilt and unease at the sight of injustice without actually changing the order of things. The fact that they often cozy up to dubious politicians and violent dictators often reveal where their true allegiances lie. A King in New York turns its attention to the politics of McCarthyism and the Red Scare that was increasingly being used to censor Hollywood movies. Chaplin himself had fallen under suspicion for his highly political films. There grew a paranoid witch hunt and censorial agenda that was increasingly snooping into Hollywood private lives, blacklisting artists and destroying careers. A King in New York fearlessly satirises this.
Actually got some prints of the church photo, photographic paper, comme ça.
Oh wow.
Which just looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
The manager of the Palaroca Hotel, where we've done a few shows recently,
Oh yeah,
he actually saw this and he said, was this a Photoshop job? Is this actually like a Renaissance masterwork that you photoshopped your own faces onto? And I said, I can die happy now, that's the best compliment I've ever had in my life.
Capitalists, communists and anarchists alike promised a world of earthly abundance. Peter Kropotkin talked of a need for luxury. Sylvia Pankhurst sought an economic system where all would satisfy their needs without stint or measure, producing a world beyond rationing and limiting of consumption. And the Paris Commune called for the inauguration of luxury of the whole community and the splendour of the future and the universal republic. Yet the luxury imagined by Kropotkin, Pankhurst and the communards was not the luxury of the few, but a luxury for all, a world of communal luxury. This takes us back to Christmas. Christmas at its best ignites a communal spirit, grounded in mutual self-interest and the indulgence of earthly plenty. It is in this respect, and not out of altruistic goodwill, that it approaches the brotherhood of man. For all the exploitation, hypocrisy, stresses and strains, Christmas glimmers with a utopian potency. To adapt Marx's comments on religion, Christmas is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. Here we discover the proper religious dimension of Christmas. It offers a momentary cessation of toil and misery, and in its place provides a temporary heaven on earth. Christmas, in providing temporary happiness, illuminates the nature of real happiness. A cipher for the earthly dreams of the indulgence and self-interest of all. Thank you for watching. This has been The Bradley Show. See you soon.